people. And even as I've seen it, whether it's people that have worked with us forever or whatever he's done that's unique. But actually, I thought it was perhaps his greatest maybe political weakness was that he never wanted to show his empathetic side. He's like, I'm dealing with China, I'm dealing with Russia, I'm dealing with Iran. I can't be soft. I'm like, you don't have to be soft with them, but show that side. But he still had that old school sort of Germanic, like whatever it was. Like,
I don't know if
we can't show weakness. I'm like, he actually has so much more of that empathy that I think you needed for suburban women. But he was like, nope, we're on a world stage. We are literally, whether we're at war or just much closer to it with someone else, I'm never going to show weakness. And I was actually like, man, I wish you would do this.
I wish people got to.
Jesus, what was that? Don Jr. apparently is trying his hand at being a journalist, maybe an interviewer. He wants to talk to these influential people, except he wants to talk at these influential people. Apparently, from that, I swore that must be edited. The fact that Kevin McCarthy, only words he gets in were but this is. And Junior just can't stop talking. So let's let them keep going because it didn't stop there.
Let's talk. I mean, the Pentagon loses, what was it, $220 billion?
Yeah.
And now we're getting into a budget time and we're talking about some of those things. So I saw, I think my father's right on this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but sort of the Republicans now clamoring, we must get rid of Medicare and Social Security. I'm like, wait a minute.
No.
So the one entitlement that people actually pay into for their entire lives, you crush your own people. I'm like, the Democrats are really good at crushing our people to give free stuff to their people. Mm-hmm. Like, we're crushing our own people who actually funded these things for their entire lives. Like, don't get me wrong.
We won't touch Medicare or Social Security.
Quickly on the substance of that latest rant that Junior went on, the Democrats want to crush our people because they pay money to give to their people. And we're talking about how divisive Democrats are. We talk about the divisiveness of this White House and how they're looking to constantly divide this country. He literally said, these Americans who are all Americans, some pay and the others get it. That's the narrative that they've taught many of these folks who don't pay anything, who are just as poor as the folks that they call libs and Democrats, broke people who are too lazy to work and don't have any money and are taken for these entitlements for being an American. Somehow they've convinced enough people to believe that Republicans pay and Democrats don't, and they take it all in. And that's how they get folks to get angry at people who want social programs to help society, to help constituents, to help taxpayers. Instead, they've divided it somehow and caused them to believe that. Anyways, that's just a bit of the nonsense that he's talking about on this show called Triggered, by the way. With Don Jr. not looking triggered at all, and also not realizing how the name of the show next to your face like that looks like you're the one that's triggered with Don Jr. Yeah, he's triggered and he won't stop talking. But by the way, I guess he's ready for this new media empire because as we saw earlier last year, he likes to take to the camera and just kind of talk. I have Kevin McCarthy. I remember this. This was fun. Watch this.
Again, when gas prices go up, there's nothing he can do, according to the media. When they go down a few cents, it's all because of his policy. It's amazing how that happens.
I don't think Joe's smart enough to be like, hey, let's send them off the trail. Don't hack the McDonald's on DC.
Runs right away. It's Russian disinformation. There's literally zero evidence of that it's Russian disinformation. The director of national intelligence said it. And by the way, more importantly, the FBI said it. And I don't say that because I think the FBI has more credibility. I
mean, why doesn't he just give Putin, the keys to the nuclear football?
I say that because it's pretty clear that the FBI has done whatever they possibly could to hurt Donald Trump. Remember the 4th of July barbecue? You saved 10 cents last year, right? This year, that same basket of goods is up $10. That's not my problem.
Maybe I changed my mind, bro. Maybe I should watch this. There's gonna be a lot going on in this show.
Let him cook. Let him keep going. Just put Don Jr. mic'd up on screen. I just want to watch where it goes because in that conversation with McCarthy, it ended somewhere substantive, actually. We ended up talking about social programs that are under threat of being cut. So I don't know, he got through a bunch of ridiculousness before we got to that point and gave McCarthy a taste of what it's like to be on a first date with someone in finance. So congratulations.
I feel like you have a story.
I think many women have stories like that. He didn't ask one question. But yeah, Don's just like his dad for real. I mean, Fred Trump gave Donald a bunch of money, and then Donald gave Don Jr. his worst mannerisms. I mean, he really got the short end of the stick with that.
Kind of sucks, but you know what? Maybe this will work. He also launched the other media. He has other hand in media. What was it? The MXM app, the Minute by Minute, the news aggregator, which I looked up a little bit too, and apparently it slants a little bit right, even though it's supposed to be right down the middle. I mean, to each their own. It's fine, you know. People got to find their news from somewhere.